My name is Babafemi Ogungbamila. I'm the Chief Information Officer at Interswitch. So I'll be talking about a little bit about our technology and some of the new APIs that we're putting out there. By a show of hands, how many developers do we have in the house right now? Okay. Small business owners? Oh. Okay. Big business owners? All right. I know it's late in the day. I'll try and keep it snappy. All right. So Interswitch is a payment company. Interswitch is a fintech, and Interswitch is a technology company as well. And that's because all our infrastructure and all our products we build ourselves. We work with the best OEMs you can find. I think one of them is Microsoft, that's with us here today. And then we currently stretch over 150 million transactions on our network today. All right. So again, we've been doing this for many years, and then so we know how it's done. From a software stack point of view, for example, for the developers in the house, you'll find that we stay cutting edge. All right. We use the best tools. And one of the things that we have found out was that as we began to build out our products, we found that we are not just building products and services, we are building capabilities. So what do I mean by capabilities? We are building capabilities that can be reused by developers and other businesses, apart from Interswitch. So meaning that anytime we build a service or a new product, there's an opportunity for any other party, such as the developer, for example, to also reuse those capabilities or services. So take Quickteller, for example. Quickteller is a combination of many capabilities within Interswitch. All right? One of them is funds transfer, the other is recharge, and then we also have bill payments. Now, it's possible for a developer or a business owner to leverage Quickteller APIs and drive, their own business, meaning that they can sell, they can do exactly what Quickteller does today. Okay, so that's what we've done. So this is what the APIs have done so far. So we see about 6 million API calls a day, about 5 billion naira in transaction volume is switched to our APIs or is run through our APIs currently, and over 50% of these, right, are being done by third parties, not Interswitch. And I actually believe that this is actually more than 60%. So what this means is that we know, and I actually strongly believe that this number is going to grow, or this percentage is going to grow, meaning that more and more of the transactions we process within Interswitch will be driven by third parties and developers, okay? And they are currently doing it right now. One of the feedback that we've gotten from developers and our partners is about our developer portal, okay? They say that it's hard to find the APIs, and it's trying to discover them, and it's also hard to get documentation. So what we are doing is revamping this so that it's a lot easier for people to find and consume the APIs that we've built. Okay? And this is just to show you a snapshot of the API that we'll be packaging and releasing very soon as the platform comes on and becomes available. All right, so the example is consumer services, cardless withdrawal and payments, which is pay code, business services, which is our collection services, meaning that the transaction you go to a bank branch you do when you pay your bills or when you pay for your power, a third party can build something similar, all right, within the enterprise. Now, but for today, it's moving quickly. For today, we are sharing with you two of our perhaps very, very exciting, most exciting APIs, the very, very new ones that have come out, okay? So, you would have thought that we have figured out how to accept money or collect online would have thought that people would be satisfied with paying with their cards, their account number, or their mobile wallets, but then they are not. A lot of people still do not want to expose their account numbers online, all right? And for those people, we have made available a QR code, meaning that if you wanted to pay online, you did not provide your account number. All you have to do is scan this code, and then we charge your account, and the merchant gets his funds just the same way. So what we've done is to build this into our payment gateway so that you can make that available. There's also the option whereby as a business owner, for example, you could be selling suya for we care. You could go to our portal, print out the QR code, and start accepting money immediately. Okay. But for this talk, we're essentially focusing on how a third-party developer would use this to create a product or to create additional payment channel. All right. So the first thing you do is set up a merchant account on our website. I think it's right there, interswitchgroup.com/payment gateway. The next thing you do is to get client credentials, and the third thing is potentially download our libraries if you want to move quickly, or you can integrate to this directly if you want as well. So this is a bit of code showing that for the developers among us, you find that the API is quite simple, it's straightforward. The calls are clean. It's not very complicated. You generate a QR. The first thing you do is to generate a QR, and the next thing is to get the status of the payments. It's simple. It's that simple, and then you have integrated successfully. Again, just to show that some of the code required to integrate to this API as well, and it's quite simple and straightforward. The next API we'd like to talk about is lending. One of the ways that we can use to drive the economy within Nigeria is through credit, right? The credit market in Nigeria is largely underdeveloped, all right? And so there's a lot of opportunity here. And from what we've seen so far, all right, people do pay back their loans, all right? So what Interswitch has done is to work with different people. We'll work with people that have data, to work with people that can provide loans, and also to work with banks to create a network that we call the Interswitch Lending Service. So what is this service? What this service does is to create an ecosystem that connects the lender, all right, to someone that's able to provide, to connect people that want to borrow, and people that have the funds. So what we've done is to bring together people that can provide funds and people that actually need the loans, and also people that have touch points. For example, the banks that have their banking apps, you can essentially make requests for loans from those apps as well. For example, Quickteller is also a channel where you can request for your loans. And what's interesting about the demo we are going to show is where you can actually request for a loan from a website, a plain known e-commerce site, and we're going to show that in a few minutes. Okay. So just to show again how simple it is to consume those APIs, you sign up as a developer on our developer portal. Okay. You get your client credentials and you download your libraries optionally. Yet again, it's simple. You make a call to get offers for a particular amount, and you get a response that has a list of providers, okay, and the offers that they're able to give you. Now, when you do get offers, many things happen, and this is where big data comes into play. We take that request, all right? We know who you are. We take that request. We go into our database, and then we do some analysis on creditworthiness, all right? And then based on that, we can then determine whether you are good to go for a loan or not. And this happens in a split second, okay? You see as we do the demo that this is quite quick, meaning that today, as an economy, we're able to provide loans. We have enough data to determine whether someone is good for a loan or not. And you don't have to go through a long process of going to a bank or filling lots of forms, providing guarantors, and so on and so forth. Data is allowing us to do this. So once that is done, we provide the customer with an option, and the customer selects the loan, the option, the offer that best suits him or her, and then you call that endpoint to accept. It's that simple. Now, the demo we are going to show you is an online fashion store, something that we cooked up in a few hours. This fashion store already has payment, all right? They're already accepting payment the traditional way, using card and payment. But what they wanted to do was that, they got feedback that their customers are not comfortable with providing account number on the website. And we said, you know what, we have a solution for you. And we said, you know what, just integrate to the QR code API, and they have that. Now, they went further and said, well, for some of my customers too, actually, in this case, the developer went back to the merchant and said, you know what, Interswitch just released a lending API, all right, and I can integrate this to you for a fee. And the guy said, why would anybody want to come to my website to take a loan? He said, don't worry, just integrate it. But one interesting thing about that API is that one of the things that we're working on is we're going to a scenario whereby within online, as you're about to buy something, you can actually give you a loan to buy, all right? Meaning that we can actually allow you to pay later for whatever you are buying online. So that's being worked on. But we just wanted to show you exactly where we are going with this demo. Okay, so this is your standard e-commerce site. It's a fashion site. The guy is picking interesting items. Apparently, he's going hiking. And he has now checked out. And it says complete payment. Note that there's a QR code generated on the site now. Okay? Then he whips up his mobile app, his banking app. All right? Logs in. And then proceeds to scan the QR code. All right, so within the app, you select the account that you want to charge. Enter a PIN. Never mind, that PIN has been changed. And then it makes a successful payment. So on the website as well, you can see that there's a status saying that the payment is successful, and we debited the account immediately as well. So for people that are not comfortable with that, they can do this. And again, this QR code payment is available is available on multiple channels. Now, this is the second bit. Get a loan. He selects Quick Cash. He only needs 1K. He selects the card from which the money will be paid back. All right? Then he processes that loan. And that's done. So what happens is that he gets an alert in his account, and then he's already borrowed 1,000 naira to be paid back after a while. All right? So thank you very much. If you want to see more about these APIs, or you want us to tell you a bit more about this in slow motion, please come and visit us at our stand, and we can share with you everything. Our architects and developers are there. They'll be happy to work with you on any of your projects. Thank you very much.